Actual January 24, 1536, 10:45 p.m., Greenwich Palace. Henry VIII wakes up screaming into a velvet pillow soaked with pus from the leg wound that would eventually rewrite European history. 60 seconds earlier, Golden Boy, patron of artists, wrote love songs to Anne Boleyn so cringe they made minstrels contemplate jumping into the moat. Then God spilled a smoothie king all over his gray matter during that jousting incident in Check's notes, oh right 3 fucking hours ago. Eyewitnesses described armor crashing into mud at 30 miles per hour. The sound of 1,500 pounds of horseflesh and ornamental codpiece collapsing like a drunk knight at a quinoa feast. Doctors found later, after sawing open his skull like a rancid pumpkin, evidence of traumatic brain injury, specifically in the prefrontal cortex. The empathy department, the don't randomly behead sociology tutors sector, poof, gone. Modern neuroscientists would recognize this as textbook psycho switch trademark. Think Ted Bundy meets medieval TikTok surgeon vibes. His biographer Lacey Baldwin Smith called it a personality Jekyll and Hyde faster than a crypto bro rage quitting after market crash. One day commissioning Hans Holbein portraits, next week ordering Thomas Cromwell, his most loyal henchman, to pick a matching axe for his own execution. Because Henry suddenly found decapitation asthma therapeutically relaxing. His cruelty so methodical, historians argue whether he'd have qualified for clinical psychopathy if DSM-IV existed during his post-fall wellness era. But wait, the medical malpractice cherry on top. Contemporary physician notes reveal his leg ulcer became a sentient entity. Leaked fluids with the consistency and aroma of underpass seafood boils. This festering helminth caused migraines so severe. Court records show he ordered musicians to play lute covers of Blurred Lines at maximum volume inside his abscessed thigh. The pain rewired his reward pathways like a Vegas slot machine stuck on beheading jackpot. And here's your terrifying modern parallel. This is what happens when toxic masculinity becomes sentient. Henry's post-fall behavior mirrors every Manosphere podcast host who claims lifting weights cures sociopathy. He bullied Parliament into passing laws allowing him to marry, execute, repeat like a Tudor-era Tinder algorithm. His delirious obsession with male heirs, a biohazard of untreated CTE mixed with royal entitlement. Imagine Andrew Tate with crown jewels and actual legal immunity. Final insult. His autopsy revealed a leg wound so catastrophically festered, it leaked even after death. Peasants 5 miles downwind reportedly placed bets on when the rotting meat stench would extinguish nearby bonfires. Yet despite his brain being Swiss cheese and body decomposing mid-reign, Henry's narcissism remained flawless. He died demanding fresh strawberries in January and raging about jousting tournament cancellations. If you ever doubted one fall could turn a Renaissance prince into a Disney villain prototype, remember, every king is just one horse stumble away from treating human heads like a limited edition Funko Pop collection. Revised manuscript, Henry Roman VIII, a drop of clotted majesty v. One before Henry VIII became England's patron saint of marital carnage. He resembled a Gutenberg Bible of Renaissance virility. 6'2" of copper-haired hubris corseted into armor so tight his spleen audibly whimpered. This was Henry unspoiled. A symphony of burgundy velvets masking shin ulcers oozing what palace surgeons diplomatically termed mortem glitter. He didn't ride horses. He conquered gravity through sheer arrogance. When Parisian physicians sent experimental helmets lined with boar bladder to prevent crown concussions, Henry hurled them into the Thames screaming, "Only worms and Lutherans require head cushions." Picture Elon Musk refusing Mars colonization because herbal tinctures purify asteroid radiation. Then arm that delusion with a private army. The body, a landfill with delusions of grandeur. To preserve his 32-inch waist, Henry Whalebone strapped his organs until chefs reported hearing bowel screams during feasts. Witnesses swore he'd projectile vomit peacock terrine mid-tournament, then spur his stallion to gallop beyond the stench horizon. Biomechanical models suggest his heart pumped 57% mead by age 40, a Pilates-obsessed weekend at Bernie's cadaver marinating in mercury ointments. Here stood a man who armored his crotch like a Fabergé grenade. Treasury ledger's list, Genos leather codpieces, beneath allocations for siege cannons. Forensic analysis confirms his groin plating weighed 9 pounds, a pendant of power declaring, "Observe this and forget the weeping leg sores." His propagandists spun decay into divinity. Court poets compared him to Apollo dipped in clover honey, tactfully omitting that the honey was colloquially known as thigh syrup, and the sun god glow resulted from liver failure. Even his famed musical talents, surviving compositions sound like a drunk badger desecrating a clavichord. Yet sycophants swore it brought pheasants to tears. Chronic pain contorted his gait into a sort of regal mold. Think foppish hermit crab sprinting from mortality. Still, he won jousts by ennobling opponents who faceplanted artistically. His entire existence was a DARPA experiment in how much reality could bend before monarchs needed smelling salts. The Freudian twist. Those French helmets threatened his entire cosmology. Safety implied vincibility, a heresy worse than Luther. His rotting legs weren't infirmity, they were performance art shouting, "Witness how beautifully I ignore tissue necrosis." By the 1536 tournament, Henry was less king than biohazard piñata. When he charged, his armor, groin first, acted as a falcon-weight counterbalance. Physics did what cardinals dared not. Flipped him ass over diadem into the mud. Diary's note bells chimed mysteriously across London. Based on surviving medical bills, it was probably the sound of his femur disintegrating upon impact. Edits applied. Erased redundant, swapped cliches for visceral absurdity, sharpened metaphors, darkened humor, punched phrasing. Does this incision satisfy the editorial lust for arterial spray? Or shall we trepan further? Henry's femurs weren't broken. They'd achieved economic collapse. Surgeons arrived bearing tools resembling poultry shears and optimism, usually reserved for exorcisms. The king's leg ulcer burst like a rancid gusher trademark mid-suture, reportedly spraying a bishop so thoroughly his mitre sprouted mushrooms by Easter. Treatment: ground up saints' bones in a poultice, followed by daily wine enemas to rebalance the humors. Meaning Henry roared through Westminster half-corked, trailing fermented Merlot fumes like a luxury doom cloud. Traumatic brain injury transformed his governance style from a temperamental Sun King to sentient Idaho potato with murder privileges. His new hobby, issuing royal decrees between projectile vomiting sessions. Remember the jaws of life. Henry wielded the jaws of death, suddenly dissolving monasteries because God told him to, during blackout headaches, then pocketing their gold like a Bible-flavored slot machine. When Thomas More questioned this divine accounting, Henry upgraded his head to Pike Dacre faster than you can say tax evasion. The Tudor neurology report reads like a jackass audition. Frontal lobe damage erased impulse control. Temporal lobe shear made paranoia his default OS. Every wife became a potential Cromwell bot sent to uninstall him. Anne Boleyn's treason, coughing during his migraine aura. Jane Seymour survived only 18 months, the lifespan expectancy of a newborn gazelle near Henry's good moods. Here's where medical science folded like wet origami. Court physicians prescribed bald eagle testes for cognitive revival, and decreed horseback riding would reseat the royal brain. Imagine pushing Humpty Dumpty back onto the wall that crippled him, Tudor logic at its finest. Each jolt of the saddle sloshed his cerebrospinal fluid like a snow globe full of piranhas. The real kicker. His suits of armor tell the story. Pre-1536, they're athletic, nipped at the waist. Post-fall, they resemble diesel tanks with anger issues. By 1540, his codpiece alone could store a cask of claret, evolving into a grotesque monument to toxic virility. Portraits whitewash him as a robust Jupiter. Reality was more Jabba the Hutt with separation anxiety. Religious reform, pure TBI symptom. After the crash, he torched England's relationship with the Vatican faster than a teenager ghosting their Bible study group. Why? His concussion convinced him papal authority violated, checks notes, his God-given right to invent new wives via loophole. The Church of England wasn't theology. It was a brain-damaged power grab with greasy Tudor fingerprints all over it. My third ex-wife Karen did something similar after her yoga retreat in Sedona, came back convinced crystals cured her DUI. Henry just scaled it to national policy. When Charles V sent concerned envoys, Henry unleashed his new party trick, having servants drop anvils outside their guest chambers at 3 a.m. to test Habsburg resilience. Diplomacy, the final descent. Chronic osteomyelitis turned his bones into Swiss cheese, yet he insisted on dancing galliards until servants heard femur splinters tinkling like wind chimes. Death finally took him in 1547, likely out of second-hand embarrassment. But the brain trauma wasn't content with ruining theology. It demanded blood sports. Henry's 1536 paralysis left him dragging one leg like a zombie cosplaying a Renaissance fair knight. Yet he charged into the jousting lists like a meth-fueled hedgehog defending its nest. Picture it. A 300-pound monarch strapped to a warhorse, lances splintering against armor designed to hide weeping leg ulcers. His opponents faced a lose-lose scenario: accidentally kill the king and get drawn and quartered, or lose intentionally and trigger his narcissistic rage spiral. It's like playing Russian roulette with a blunderbuss. The royal surgeons, medieval goop enthusiasts. When Henry's skull fracture began oozing evil humors, they excavated his scalp with a white-hot iron poker. Historical records insist he bore it well, which translates to didn't immediately execute the guy brandishing medieval BBQ tools. A modern medicine recognizes this treatment, called cautery, as effective only for turning patients into human-scented candles. Ask my second cousin Bertram, who tried curing his gout with a waffle iron and industrial bleach. And here's the pinnacle of Tudor corpse modesty. Post-mortem embalming involved draining his organs into a slop bucket, stuffing the cavity with herbs, and pickling the remains in a lead-lined vat of brandy. Why? Contemporary sources claim it was to reduce the obesity. Let that sink in. England's supreme monarch marinated in liquor like a Kafkisk olive, awaiting a funeral delayed by explosions of decomposition gas. Westminster Abbey probably smelled like a distillery's dumpster behind a Buffalo Wild Wings. Yet amid this Three Stooges meets Saw marathon, Henry found time for marital downsizing. Anne Boleyn's beheading, Tuesday vibes, Catherine Howard's execution, a pre-breakfast errand. His brain injury didn't invent misogyny, just weaponized it with the efficiency of a TikTok trend. Each wife's demise followed an identical script: love bombing, sanctimonious cheating accusations, and death warrants signed with the same enthusiasm as grocery lists. My ex-wife Karen pulled similar stunts whenever I forgot her Pilates instructor's birthday. Difference being Henry used axes instead of subpoenas. The ultimate irony: Henry's viral jousting accident turned him into a real-life Shakespearean punchline. A king who wielded absolute power yet couldn't control his own bowels once the syphilis kicked in. A man who rewrote geopolitics because his headaches whispered God hates carbs. His legacy: founding England's most dysfunctional dynasty since the Kardashians of Kent. End scene mid-sentence, as per protocol. If we engineered a time machine, the first thing we should do is dump a crate of Advil into that jousting helmet before impact. But history's beautiful stupidity lies in its butterfly effects. Remove Henry's brain damage, and you risk Elizabeth I becoming just another Habsburg broodmare pumping out incest babies for some mustache-twirling duke with a cheese allergy. Chaos theory, folks. Where was I? Ah, yes. The exact moment Henry's festering leg wound birthed a biblical horror show during Catherine Howard's retirement party. Picture this: 1541, London's draftiest castle. Henry's ulcer seeps enough pus to drown Buckingham Palace corgis. His doctors, who apparently got their degrees from a Venetian plague mask instruction manual, declare the only cure is boiling slugs. I swear to Dionysus, they stuffed pulverized lapis lazuli up his nostrils while chanting psalms backward. The result? Maggots, not just in the wound, Explorers found them conducting a rave inside the royal codpiece. This man, whose ego once required 6 servants just to hoist him onto a toilet, is simultaneously signing Catherine's death warrant and scratching his groin with the fury of a raccoon on energy drinks. The real Red Wedding wasn't Westeros fiction. It was a king rotting alive while accusing his teenage wife of adultery because she giggled at a lute player's thigh bulge. Modern analogy. Imagine Elon Musk live-tweeting his divorce during a 4 Seasons total landscaping press conference, but with more beheadings. And here's the kicker. Henry's leg stench became a political weapon. French ambassadors wrote home comparing his court to 1,000 dead pigs marinating in regret. Yet diplomats still kissed his ring, a biohazard ceremony requiring them to hold breath longer than freedivers. Praise the Lord for pre-perfume Europe, where smelling like a compost fire was just Tuesday energy. Did the maggots unhinge him further? Absolutely. They were his festering Greek chorus. You try executing wives while larvae fall out of your pants like rancid confetti. Catherine's final walk to the chopping block. Henry celebrated by commissioning a new gold-embroidered codpiece to contain the situation. Priorities, people. My ex Karen once canceled our anniversary dinner because I bought wrong brand, hummus. Same energy, really. So what's the dark comedic moral? Humanity's addiction to disaster breeds idiots who could have prevented COVID by not licking cathedral doorknobs during the Black Death. Henry proved monarchs are just influencers with worse healthcare plans, rotting from within while #blessing their own delusions. His legacy. Proving that unchecked power turns men into Joker origin stories wearing crown-shaped clown hats. Want more glittering train wrecks? Smash that thumbs up before some other syphilis-riddled tyrant